not sure what to post, feeling like your content doesn't really sound like you, well, we're going to change that. I'm going to show you how to create content that feels real, natural, and aligned with your unique voice, even if you don't know where to start. And we'll break it down so you can share your message in a way that truly connects with your people. Okay, so customizing and personalizing your content. The goal is for you to create your own content. Even though I'm giving you the framework and things that you can fill in the blank, please do not copy the content word for word because that defeats the whole purpose. You have to make the content your own because you want to connect with your community so they can get to know you and what you offer better. And they won't do that if you just copy everything word for word and you don't change anything to align with your brand. So I want to walk you through how to customize that content to fit your own brand's personality, your tone, or your own message. So we're going to personalize a long form piece of content and we're going to customize a short form piece of content. And we're going to adapt those pieces of content to reflect your own experiences, what your audience is going through, what your audience may be feeling, or what your unique style or personality might be. First of all, I'm going to show y'all the easy way. Of course, you can use ChatGPT, but again, you want to customize everything because AI is 9 times out of 10 is not going to sound like you. You're going to have to do some tweaking to personalize this message to fit you. So you're going to go to the monthly content plan, copy this prompt, take it into ChatGPT and say, this is fill in the blank content. Can you provide me an example based on what I do? If this is your first time using ChatGPT, you're going to have to say what you do. After that, you're going to say, I am that, whatever you are, what you do, who you think your target audience is. Then you're going to paste that prompt that I gave you in the content plan and you're going to submit it. And ChatGPT is going to give you this. Say that you're a minimalist designer and this content prompt talks about why you chose something that you do in your industry over something that you used to do or some kind of challenge that you might have experienced. Like I said, ChatGPT is the easy way out unless you are something already comes to mind. When you go over this, you fill in the blanks there, whatever comes to mind, what you have done, what challenge you experience, and you expand on that topic here. We're at the hook first. Let's see what ChatGPT gave us for the hook. This is a minimalist designer. The hook is why you chose this. The hook, why I chose minimalist lifestyle over consumer culture. So consumer culture is a challenge that most people might experience. A minimalist lifestyle is the lifestyle that this designer chose. In the body of this content, which has the key points, we expand on that topic a little bit more. And remember, this is long form. So long form, you're probably going to present a couple of key points. You're going to talk about that mindset first. And then you're going to present a couple of key points to back up this topic and expand on it a little bit more. Now let's go into the mindset piece. I've always been drawn to, and then you enter what you specifically been drawn to in your industry. You want to talk about a personal story or a personal experience and what initially attracted you to do that. Give your audience an idea of the mind frame you were in so they can better understand why you chose what you do. In this example, we're talking about why they chose the minimalistic lifestyle. So let's see what ChatGPT gave us. So in the mindset piece, I've always been drawn to minimalism because I realized that owning more things wasn't making me happier. In the past, I spent so much money on items I thought I needed, only to feel overwhelmed by clutter and financial stress. I wanted to focus on what truly mattered. And honestly, I think ChatGPT did a really good job. So I don't have the paid version of ChatGPT. The free version does give you a couple of times where you can use the 4.0 version. So this is the 4.0 version. You can also use Claude. When it comes down to creating copy and scripting, I think Claude does much better when it comes to making it sound more human. But honestly, if a designer wanted to use this as a voiceover or use this for a talking face-to-face video or for a blog, I think this would be a really good intro to that piece of content. Here's some key points where you want to personalize and add your own style. It says here, only to feel overwhelmed by clutter and financial stress. Personalize this instead of saying financial stress, only to feel overwhelmed by clutter and trying to get my bills paid every month. Just those little tweaks to make it sound more like you and how you would specifically talk. Then we get into the main key points and we're breaking those main key points down. This fill in the blank content says it's not just about the specific task. You go into more detail about and break this point down to talk about a specific thing that you do by saying, I came in this too, and then you expand on what that larger mission is. So let's see what ChatGPT gave us. It's not just about having fewer things. I chose minimalism to create a life with more intention, financial freedom, and peace of mind. Honestly, I got to give ChatGPT its props because this sounds really, really good. If I were reading this blog, I'm hooked already. Or if I was watching a YouTube video, I'm hooked already. Now we're going to get into that next point. Talk about this milestone that you experience by saying every time I insert that specific milestone, it reminds me why I started this in the first place. And then you want to explain why you chose that situation over what you used to do or some challenge or struggle that you might have had before when it came to consumer culture, or insert that specific challenge or experience that you've had. We're going to go back to ChatGPT and see what ChatGPT said. Every time I walk into my home and feel a sense of calm, I remember why I let go of excess. Instead of constantly buying, I now invest in experiences and things that truly add value to my life. This is really, really good. As you can see, if you want to save a little bit more time, put this into ChatGPT and ChatGPT can fill in the blanks for you. Continue on to the end. When you're using long form content, you always want to make sure that you recap those main points, whether it's going to be a YouTube video, a podcast, or it's going to be a blog. Always recap and close it off. I give you the mindset piece, the main key points, and a way to recap and close it off. This recap states, so if I ever have to choose, I will always choose, and then you insert your topic or your industry any day because I go back to and then reiterate that larger mission, the reason why you're doing this. When I think about, and then you're going to go back to that point one and that point two and a point three, if you've added a point three, it always reminds me of why I chose this. And then you want to encourage your audience to pursue their passions and explain how they can start and lead into one of your offers. This is your call to action. And you want to reiterate what you do. So let's close this off and see what ChatGPT gave us. So if I ever had to choose, I always choose minimalism because it gives more freedom, clarity, and peace. When I think about my calm space, my financial freedom, and the simplicity of my lifestyle, it always reminds me why I made this choice. If you've been feeling overwhelmed by clutter or spending, I want you to know that simplifying your life is possible. That's why I share my journey to help you embrace minimalism in a way that works for you. You end that off by saying, this is how you can work with me. This is the ebook that I have. This is a course that I have, and lead them into that offer. So I hope this helps. That's the long form piece. Now we're going to go into a short form piece of content. I'm showing you the polarizing piece of content. And a polarizing content is always like this opposing view. The hook is not everyone will like this about, and then you insert the topic, but it's the truth. If somebody said that in a video, that would catch your attention, right? So you're going to insert your topic there. And then this differs a little bit from long form content because there is key points, but you don't have to expand on it as much. With short form content, you're just focusing on one topic. You're not going all over the place and discussing a whole bunch of things because all of those different things can be different pieces of content. So if you have more than one thing to talk about, you can create another short form post and address the next topic. Focus on one thing. In the key points in this short form piece of content, you say, here's the truth about this topic. It's not something everybody wants to hear, but this is the reality. State that harsh truth or that controversial fact or that reality that maybe most people don't agree to, but something that you really believe in. Let them know if you want to see results, you have to, and then you're going to expand on that harsh truth and describe action, something that they need to do or a mindset shift that they need to do in order to get to a place that they desire. I also include a caption because typically with short form content, you have to have some type of caption. So the caption could be unpopular opinion, and then you're going to talk about that harsh truth and ask them if they agree or disagree. Let's talk about it. You always want to give a call to action. In this one, you could tell them to just drop their thoughts on this topic in the comments and let's have a conversation about it. Now, what I'm going to do is copy this, take it into ChatGPT. I'm going to say, now let's try this. Can you provide examples using this? And I'm going to paste that there and see what ChatGPT gives us. ChatGPT gave me information on what I do. So I'm telling ChatGPT, let's stick to the minimalist designer and try it again. That's the key with ChatGPT. You have to give it prompts to do what you want it to do. If you're not specific in what you want ChatGPT to do, everything that it spits out to you is going to be very generic. So let's see. ChatGPT gave us something on minimalist designing. So not everyone will like this about minimalistic design, but it's the truth. That's the hook. So here's the truth about, it said branding. We're not talking about branding. So we're just going to X that out. Minimalist design doesn't mean boring. If your brand looks plain and uninspired, the problem isn't minimalism, it's poor design. Oh, that would snatch somebody together real quick. And of course, thinking about your personality, talk the way you talk, change around the words if you need to. Don't add this to your short form content just how it is. But honestly, it still sounds really good. I got to give ChatGPT their props. It also goes on to say if you want to see results, you have to focus on intentionality, negative space, and visual storytelling instead of just stripping things away. So that's something that would really need to be customized because visual storytelling, you have to think about what your audience, what words they actually use. Your audience most likely isn't using visual storytelling. So you need to take visual storytelling and change that up so they can know exactly what that means. So instead of saying visual storytelling, you need to focus on the way things look, the story that you want to tell, what people see when they look at your space. Change that around to make sense to your audience. ChatGPT goes on with the unpopular opinion. More elements doesn't make a design better. With this, definitely needs to be changed. You could say, adding more to your space doesn't make a design better. Having restraint does. Do you agree or disagree? Let's talk about it. So I think that was pretty good, but that gives you an idea of how you can change the tone. So something that I like to do when I'm customizing my content is there's things that I say all the time. I'm like, listen, just think of those phrases that you say all the time. You can insert those in there so it can sound like, are you more laid back? Are you more conversational? These are the things that you want to think about when it comes to your own personality and your style, so you can incorporate that into these pieces of content. Always adjust it so it can fit who you are and what you do and your community of people. Most of us have our own target audience. So we're going to need to think of our audience when we're creating this content and filling in the blanks to their situation. So you want to give examples of things that your audience might be going through in their own life. So, like the minimalist designer, their audience probably has all this clutter, a whole bunch of stuff in their house. They are probably a hoarder and they can't get rid of the things. So when this minimalist designer, and if you're a minimalist designer, here you go, you can use this. You want to insert the things about your audience being a hoarder or probably collecting all of this stuff to your minimalist content and customize that for your audience, and also talk about your experiences and what you did before you became minimalist. Think about some of the things that you went through and insert those scenarios into the pieces of content as well. Your audience is always going to connect with you and who you are. Everybody can spit out all of this information, but it always comes down to, how did that person say it? How did I feel when I see this person's content come across my page? How do I feel when I hear this person's voice? Adding all of the personal touches to your content is going to be important. Always tweak the tone, the style, the examples to fit your situation and your people's situation. You don't need to write everything from scratch. That's what these content templates are for. Most of it is done for you. You just need to adjust where you see fit. So what is included exactly in this content plan? I'm happy you asked. 8 pieces of long form content, fill in the blank. This can be used for blog, YouTube, and maybe even email. 12 short form posts. You can use this for reels, carousels, or even static posts. And 5 bonus filler posts every single month. Trending topics can focus on our theme for that month. And speaking of themes, every single month, each of these content plans are going to focus on a specific theme. Get more visibility, focus more on nurturing your community or getting more sales. And I can't not mention that all-in-one content creation dashboard that I use for my own business, and you get that for free. As long as you're subscribed to the membership, every 2 weeks, you can consider this our virtual content days. Submit your content, creating that content on that call. So whether you need help with your branding, researching some of your topics, filming the videos, editing the videos, scheduling the content, and you'll get access to those replays afterwards. So let's get you showing up more consistently online. Sign up to the monthly subscription down below, and I'll see you inside of the community. So your next steps now is going in one by one, picking a piece of content and personalize it to your audience situation or a specific topic that you want to talk about for your next piece of content. Use your own experiences, use your own examples, and think about what your audience is going through. Good luck on creating that content. Always use the community if you need any help or any feedback. Post the draft in the community, and I'd be happy to give any feedback. And I'm sure everyone in the community would be happy to give feedback as well. Go ahead and personalize that content. I'll see you in the community.